Hi everyone. I guess the Buick is giving me a lot of content the last couple weeks. It was rainy last night and my son went into town and called me up and said my windshield wipers aren't working. So we're gonna take a look at the car and see what's going on. Okay, I'm back. I'm inside the car now. And I just want you to listen to something. I'm not even going to check the fuses and stuff like that. I just wanted to see what was going on and stuff. I've got the power on, and I am going to turn the wipers on, and hopefully you'll be able to hear what I'm hearing. So that sounds like the motor either binding or failing, but also the wipers aren't turning. So I don't know if something fell off and something's getting caught, but I think that kind of puts me in the direction that I'm going to have to take the cowl off and show you what I see next, which I think is some kind of mechanical failure right now. Fingers crossed, maybe something just popped off, and I just have to take a look at it and see if I just have to reinstall it. This Buick is not like some of the other Buicks where the windshield wiper motor is accessible from the engine compartment. Unfortunately, I have to take the cowl off, which means I got to pop off the actual windshield wiper blades just to get the cowl off completely and take a look and see what's going on. So I will pause this right now and try to show you what has to come off, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'm back. I was just taking a look at this plastic cowl, and as far as I can tell, it has these type of push pins down there, and then in the back area too. One right there, one in the middle, and then one on the other side. Interesting enough, I can't believe they actually stuck a push pin right down here. I don't have any kind of tool to pop that off, so I'm guessing what I'm going to do is I'm going to just try to slide something underneath and just force it off, because there's just no way that you're going to find something to pop this pin up and pull it out. I don't know why they did that, but it's kind of a pain. You know, be careful once you start to take things apart. You don't want to be breaking these hoses and stuff, so be gentle when you start to remove things and remove this panel. Typically you can just pull this cover right off and exposes the 13 millimeter socket that you're going to need to remove this nut. And then after I remove the nut, I usually spray some penetrating oil on it. Just let it soak for a second or two. And then I use either some gentle persuasion, which is my trusty little hammer right here, and give it a little couple whacks and see if that pops it off. And if that doesn't work, then I do have this windshield wiper arm removal tool that has always worked and never failed me. So the next steps I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove all the push pins and take the wiper blades off, and just be really careful that I don't break these lines, because the car is so old that you know, there's a good chance they're going to snap or something. So it could get a little bit more involved if they break. But we'll see what happens. I'll get back and show you the end result of taking off the panel here. Be back in a few. All right, I am back because I just want to show everybody something. Taking off these windshield wiper arms is kind of a bear. I strongly suggest you get this tool because you're going to need something to wedge underneath it and separate it from the joint here. And this is the first I've ever had to do it, but I think just because of the way this cowl is and stuff, you're going to have an issue trying to get these arms off. I really suggest you get this tool. And basically what I had to do, just to drive it underneath, and I still have a way to go, is I situated it to the point where now I'm using this extension right here, and I'm going to whack it with my trusty hammer here and force this on to the center. Now it should either pop off, or if I have to, then I'm just going to use the tool the way it was supposed to be used and turn this down and pop it off that way. But you're going to be spinning your wheels if you don't have this tool. So I strongly suggest that you get one before you even start doing this, because you could be here all day trying to get these arms off. You know, the car's so old, and I believe these have never been taken off. I'll be back. Okay, so after giving it a couple more whacks, it actually popped it off. You can see it's all loose, and you can actually see that the nut's right there, and I'm going to be able to get this off now. It's kind of tensioned in, so, but the good thing is you can see it's popped up, and I just have to do that to the other side. But you can see all the rust down there and stuff like that, so I don't think these have ever been taken off. So once again, like I said, you definitely have to get one of these tools just to wedge it in here and pop it off. Okay, back again. Now I'm trying to take off the passenger side wiper arm. Yeah, I gotta tell you, this is a pain. I've never spent this much time trying to get wiper arms off. So I put my fender cover up over the glass because obviously I'm whacking with that hammer, and then I've got that extension there, and I'm trying to get that tool underneath so that it'll wedge and pop it off. I put a piece of plywood down because obviously, you know, I don't want to be damaging anything else while I'm trying to get this silly wiper arm off. So I figured I'd give you a shot of what I'm doing to reach it, and hopefully I'll get back to you and I'll show that I got it off. Okay, still fighting with the passenger side wiper arm. Decided to take this off because you just can't move it around to really loosen the wiper arm and stuff. There's only one position where you can get at it. So it dawned on me, I used my battery top post clamp remover, and that fit perfectly, and a couple turns and it popped it right off. So I'm guessing you're going to need two items to pop these off, unless you're lucky and they just come off when you whack it with your hammer. So I will pause it right now and get back to you when I have the cover off and I find out what exactly broke in the wiper arm assembly. Okay, I am back, and I gotta tell you, this is going to be a pretty involved job. You definitely have to be patient and take your time. Sorry I didn't take more shots of me actually taking this assembly out, but you know, I was just trying to figure out where to start. So basically, with this unit in this area right here, there are 3 10mm bolts that you have to remove. There's one right here, and then the passenger side wiper assembly, there's a 10mm there. I wanted, before I took anything out completely and stuff, I loosened up and took the 10mm, I believe it's 10, it's either 10 or 13 nut right here off, and I just wanted to move the assembly by hand just to make sure it wasn't binding or anything like that, and it was working fine. But like in the beginning and stuff, if you recall, you could hear a buzzing sound. So I had my inclination that there was something going on with the motor and that it just failed and stuff. And I think I'm gonna go and replace the windshield wiper motor. I went and checked the connector just to make sure I was getting power, and as you can see, I am getting power to it. So I'm gonna go with the motor and install that, and hopefully that will cure his issue with the wipers not working. And you know, I'll fill you guys in afterwards and give you a conclusion if that was the case. Okay, back from my parts run. Here's the new motor, and we're going to be replacing it in the windshield wiper assembly. You got 3 star bits. It's size T30, so you're going to have to get that to remove it. Now the other thing too was, before I even did anything else, just to confirm that it was the motor and stuff, you can plug it, make sure you ground it, and turn on your ignition, and I can show you that it's turning. And so the motor is good, which is nice, and it's resting at the home position. So now what I have to do is, I marked on the assembly itself where the home position was, right there. So I'm going to loosen this up and put it and line it up there. That way I know when it's at the resting position, it's at home. And then the only thing I have to concern myself with is getting the wiper arms back in the right spots so that they're not banging into each other. I'm gonna put you guys on hold right now because I'm going to swap the motors out and put the assembly in, and I'll come back in a few and show you what I've gotten done so far. Okay, got the assembly back in. The only way you can get this assembly in is this nut right here that's attached to the wiper motor drive. You have to have that loosened and stuff, because you have to pull at it and get it at a certain position to get it in and to get it out. So even when you're taking it out and stuff like that, this nut has to be taken off and this has to be popped out, because there's just no way of getting it in. So like I said before, I already had it marked where the home position was. So right now I'm just gonna put some Loctite on the threads, some blue Loctite, and tighten it down the best I can. It should be fine. The other thing too is I used the same arm that was on the whole assembly and stuff. I didn't want to switch out the arms because I wasn't sure, and I just can't remember because I haven't done one of these in a long time. I can't remember whether or not this will just really pop out and I can pop the new one in there. And because this has taken a lot longer than I wanted to do, I didn't want to take any chances of having the car apart and him not being able to use it. So I just went with the original OEM arm that was in there, and it seems to be fine. The only thing I had to do was the hole on the OEM, I had to ream it out a little bit wider. The shaft is, for whatever reason, where the spline part is a little bit thicker. This is a new motor, so it's not an OEM motor, so those are the kind of things that we have to deal with. Unfortunately, there is no GM or AC Delco replacement for this motor. I've seen online a lot of people saying that they don't really last that long. We'll see what happens. If you can get another year out of it, it'll be great. The only other thing I did, which I forgot to show, because I did see some people complaining about it, that the sealing on the motor itself, around the black part of the motor, right around here, for whatever reason they said, and I saw it on several comments about these new motors and stuff, that the water was getting in. So what I did do before I even put it in was I ran a bead of silicone all the way around and stuff. People were saying take the cover off, but I said, well, why bother? You're just opening up another can of worms. So I just got some silicone, went around and sealed it up, resealed it. So I'm going to pause it for now, because I'm going to finish putting it back together, tightening up that nut, and then I'm going to put the wipers on, arms on, and keep my fingers crossed and hope everything lined up okay, and should be all set. Okay, all put back together. This is not a quick job. I have to be honest. It was a lot more involved than I thought it was going to be, especially because of the location of the windshield washer motor. I didn't realize it was tucked away in here. So don't think you're going to get this done in half an hour. Just make sure that you mark everything and be systematic when you're taking the parts off. Make sure to take pictures of where your blades were, because I put them exactly at the same spot. I didn't want to screw around. Everything seems to be working okay, so I'll show you that the blades are working. I'm gonna Hi everyone, Ed again. I just wanted to do a supplement to the video for replacing the windshield wiper motor, and God, I got to apologize for the video quality. You would have thought I had a six-pack of beer, because I chopped off things, and it's got to be the worst video I've ever done so far to date. And it was kind of long-winded. I'm going to go over taking the vent cover off and try to explain what tools I used again, because in the video and stuff I didn't really pan up to show what I used to pull off the windshield wiper arms. So I'm going to try this again. So basically what you have to do is you have to pop off all these clips, these push pin rubber clips. You have to pop them all off. It'll really help if you have a tool like this. Come over to the other side, and you've got one right there, one right there, and you have one in here, which I don't even know how they got it in there. But I ended up using a long pry bar type of screwdriver, stuck it in here, and just popped it up. You're going to have to take this off, that off, and I pulled this off too. There's another push pin tab right there. And then to remove the arms, you've got two options to do. One, I think you could probably use this for both of them. This is a top post battery cable puller, and this worked good for getting the passenger side wiper arm off. Now, I did use the tool for removing the driver's side, which was this. Worked fine, but I had to basically bang it into place to pop it up, and actually when I hit it enough, it just popped it right off. So I guess you could probably use either one if you have those tools in your toolbox. But this popped it right off, no problems and stuff, and I didn't have to bang it. So I just, I think this is probably the better choice, simply because the cowling gets in your way. Now, once again, I'm going to tell you, just be really careful removing these hoses and stuff. I tried to spray some WD-40 on them and just tried to very gently twist and pry these off. You have to do it on both arms, but other than that, that's the only thing you have to touch. And once you get the arms off, basically I just took this cover and I stuck it off to the side. I didn't want to deal with any of the tubing and possibly cracking it and stuff like that. The car's just too old, and you know, why cause another issue? So once you get this off, and I didn't show this in the video, there is a metal plate right here that is covering the motor. It's all 10 millimeters. You got 1, 2, and there's another one right there. 3 bolts, and then up here there's 2 nuts, and you just pull that plate right off. It's just a cover for the motor, and once you do that, then you can see in the beginning of the video basically what I was dealing with to take the whole assembly out of the car. Like I said, it's not going to be a quick job. You're not going to be in and out in 20-30 minutes. It was a little bit more involved than I thought it was going to be, and so that's, I think, about it. I hopefully made more sense, and I'm trying to show exactly what I was doing here and stuff. So let me hold off for a second. I'm going to put you on pause, and I am back in the car, just showing that the wiper blades are working and they are doing what they're supposed to be doing. I think that's about it. Oh yeah, there was only one other thing I did come across, and I saw it on the comments and stuff that people were saying that after like 6 months or so, the motor stopped working. And if you reference and you go back in my video in the beginning and stuff, and I had the motor out, and obviously I was trying to show that the motor was being used and it was working and stuff, the new motor, but because of my lousy photography, you didn't really see it. But I don't know if you noticed, I did have a ground wire that was attached to the motor and then attached to the body of the car, because you do need that to operate the motor and test it. Now, I'm thinking because the car is so old and because the part we have is new, and people were saying that it would fail after 6 months or so, the possibility is that it's losing its ground. So what I did was, if you saw that black ground wire that I made, I actually attached it to the motor, and you had two nuts right up here where the metal plate was. I cleaned off the metal plate and I stuck the wire right there and fastened it down because I just want to make sure that it has a good ground, because if it doesn't, the motor's not going to work. And you know, like I said before, the cars are really old, rusted, and you know, you just want to make sure you have a good ground. So sorry again for the poor quality videos. I'm going to be getting a tripod, so hopefully I'm going to be able to produce a little bit better videos that don't look like a 5-year-old did it. Thanks again for watching, and subscribe if you can. Take it easy. Bye.